Welcome to another episode of the Body and Mind Sports Show. As always, I'm your host, The Mind, and with me I have my co-host, The Body.
The pleasure's all yours, Mind.
In rare form today, living up to his namesake. So today we have an action-packed show filled with really two main topics, NFL and wrestling.
Does it get any better than that?
Not unless you have a bowl full of Oreo cookies sitting right in front of you.
Ooh.
And like a jug of milk to wash it all down.
Splendid.
Yum. So there's plenty of NFL news going along.
We're only going to cover some of it because it's just a ton of madness.
Yeah, ton of madness. So the NFL free agency is about to begin March 14th. So we're going to look at all of the moves that have already been confirmed and a few that are pending.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if we're going to go to all the moves I confirmed because there's some guys I just can't bother with.
Oh no, we just like lovingly handcrafted a list.
We lovingly handcrafted a list straight from our basement in a Winnipeg house.
Just for you.
Yes. We couldn't be bothered with the Hollywood Hills. We just handcrafted from a Winnipeg basement.
So once we have some NFL talk, because who isn't ready for the NFL in March? We then got our fight of the night. Today we go to the Squared Circle. We're going to talk about the potential WrestleMania match between John Cena and The Undertaker. Is this a match for good or evil? Is it hell yeah or hell no? And then we're just going to do a wrestling review altogether of all the latest goodness happening in the world of wrestling.
We've got the road to WrestleMania, a lot of good stuff happening with ROH.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even independent, kind of related to that as well.
That's right. And then at the end, as always, we have our Epic and Suck. The moment we thought was epic over the last week and the moment we thought sucked. So, let's get the show started with NFL free agency. Let's look at some of these moves that have happened.
Well, the most notably the main event move.
Well, that would be Tyrod to Cleveland.
Well, it doesn't get any more main event than that. Actually, I was thinking Deshaun Kaiser to the Packers.
Oh, you crazy person.
No.
Cleveland has their quarterback of the future at long last, Tyrod Taylor. Leaving the frozen wastelands of Buffalo
for the frozen wastelands of Cleveland
to go to the Mistake by the Lake.
Oh, life just can't get any better.
I actually hope this works out for Cleveland because I feel bad for them. I feel bad for them and for their fans.
This has gone on too long already.
That is like 2 decades of suffering now, pretty much. I think they're due.
Oh, they're well beyond due.
For some happiness.
They are well beyond due.
Oh. What do you think of Tyrod going to Cleveland? Can he actually help them?
Be interesting to see what they do. Is he going to be the man? Depends who they draft at quarterback. If they draft a guy who isn't ready now, it'll be good because they'll give him a service NFL quarterback while they're getting that guy to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
If they draft the guys ready now, well, you have a veteran backup anyways.
Right.
I think a pretty good move for the Browns.
I really like it. I've always been a Tyrod fan. I always thought he got underappreciated in Buffalo. I think he's a much better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the move. And I would hope that they draft a good understudy that can work his way to being the man maybe next year.
Yeah.
We got also going to Cleveland. They gave him a receiver.
Hey, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
He's quick at.
Yeah.
Him and Josh Gordon, if Gordon's head's on straight, man, that's a pretty good combo.
That's the beginning of some happiness.
It is. Something that's, as we discussed a few seconds ago, long overdue in Cleveland.
Long overdue, and especially since their defense is sort of kind of rounding into shape now, finally.
Check this picture out.
Mm-hmm.
If they draft Saquon Barkley first overall running back, then have Landry, Gordon, and a decent quarterback, whether it's Taylor or whoever they draft at 4.
Yep.
Hey.
Now suddenly you're getting an offense that can maybe at least control the ball a little bit.
You're getting a team that can win some games.
Yeah.
Usually when you say a team that wins games, you're thinking, they're going to win a few more games.
No.
Cleveland, no. Literally, a team that can win some games.
Game one.
Maybe two.
Let's start with one and work our way up from there. Yeah. Cleveland, we're pulling for you. One guy that also is being thrown out of town and needed a new home, Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler. Interesting. He goes to the Titans, who the year before signed New England's other ex-corner, Logan Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple capable corners, and that was the weakness in Tennessee last year on their defense. So, it's not superstar corners, but even solid corners are good. And, man, I like what Tennessee did there. I still don't know where they're going as a team with their offense and everything. And, there are some weaknesses on defense, but I think that was a good signing.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with having a Super Bowl ring hanging around the dressing room.
No, and now they got two of them because Ryan had one as well at the other corner.
Boom. How about your boy, Sam Bradford? $20 million going to Arizona.
Hey, that would be great. So is it $20 million for 1, 2, 3, 4 games?
Yeah. Actually, in that case, then this could be the most expensive signing of all time.
It could be.
Because, to do some Scott Steiner math here, if he only plays 4 games over a 16-game season, that really is an $80 million quarterback.
Well, let's break it down in Scott Steiner standards. If you have 16 games and you play 4 of them and you play 25% of the games and you're getting $20 million of the money and you're getting $5 million a game, that leaves you with a lot of money in your pocket, according to Scotty Steiner, because I have an education from Michigan.
I think according to Scotty, he would miss 133% of the games.
According to Scott Steiner, if Sam Bradford was my starting quarterback, he would miss 133 1/3% of the games. That's correct.
I love Scotty Steiner math.
Oh yeah, if you ever check YouTube and you're in the Scott Steiner promos, check out the Scott Steiner math promo.
Yep,
it is epic.
It is epic. That
could be absolutely epic.
That could be a yearly epic because that is a top 10.
And you'll get none of your 133% of your money back that you spent on Sam Bradford.
Yep, that's what we think of Sam Bradford. What about Kirk Cousins? He just signed for a whackload of money.
3 years, $84 million, all guaranteed.
Not bad. Well done.
Woo.
That is a good agent.
That's a great agent.
And I thought I wanted Titus O'Neil managing my career, but suddenly I want Cousins' agent managing my career.
Oh, Titus Worldwide. It just seems like a mom and pop shop now. Oh, so 3 years, $84 million, all guaranteed.
Not bad.
That's the one that blew my mind, the all guaranteed.
All guaranteed, yeah. You never see that.
No.
So Minnesota...
He likes that.
You figure it's going to work out? Yeah, he likes that.
He likes that.
Yeah.
I think he'll work out decently. There's 2 things. One, man, if he gets hurt, because they got rid of the other 3 quarterbacks, who's going to come off the bench?
Yeah.
The other thing is I think he'll play well, but I got to see it in the playoffs.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, exactly right, because Redskins, they were, 1 year in the playoffs with them?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Yeah,
and didn't look too
and there
good.
was one and done too.
Yeah, it was one and done, and they needed a win over the Giants who were in the playoffs already to get in, and they didn't look good.
Yeah,
in
they
that
failed.
one.
Yeah, so well. Beautiful.
I'm a Kirk Cousins fan, but I don't know if the Kirk Cousins I'm a fan of comes out or the Kirk Cousins who flops in big games comes out. Because it's going to be the big games where you measure him.
Well, it is. I mean, that's why he's getting $84 million guaranteed. Because when we saw Minnesota last year, they look like they're ready to contend for a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So you just need to get him there.
In fairness, he's got weapons now, which he never. If he did in Washington, it was never continuous. There's always change.
Speaking about a big favorite of yours, Richard Sherman. He has a new home.
Yeah, Richard Sherman. I used to be a big Richard Sherman fan, then I was anti-Richard Sherman. I think this is a good move for both Seattle and the 49ers. I think Seattle had to get him and Bennett out and just kind of reestablish the locker room. Great move for San Fran. Not just a very good corner, but championship experience for a team on the rise. 3-year deal. Yeah, I think this is good all around.
Yep.
But man, Seattle's going to regret it when they play them twice a year in division. Or are they going to regret it then?
Amazing how quickly the 49ers are seemingly turning their team around.
Yes.
Because 1 year ago this year, they were like a moribund franchise. Nobody wanted anything to do with them.
John Lynch has been amazing there.
Yep. Yeah, you mentioned Bennett, the Legion of Boom, going to the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, the Eagles, who also are signing Haloti Ngata as extra depth on the defensive line too. So that pass rush keeps coming. Though not as more of a run stuff at this point, but the depth on that front four, just amazing. Looks like the rich get richer in Philadelphia.
Yeah, pretty amazing that you go and win the Super Bowl and you just keep making your team better.
Yeah,
by adding like superstars.
Yeah, and as for Seattle, I mean, that's Sherman gone, that's Bennett gone. I don't know where Sheldon Richardson's going yet as a free agent, though. And he picked up in a trade next year. So it's not just the secondary is not going to be the same. The front four might not be the same anymore. Might still be decent, but you can see things changing in Seattle. Cliff Averill gets a year older if he sticks around. Changing the guard in Seattle.
Yeah. This is pretty much the end of the Legion of Boom?
Yeah.
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 And actually, sticking with Seattle, actually, Jimmy Graham.
Hey, superstar Jimmy Graham going to the Packers.
Going to the Packers.
Great move for the Pack. I think he'll be an awesome fit there.
Yeah. Yeah, so even on offense, complete dismantling of this team.
No, you better build up that offensive line and running game now.
I guess in truth with Graham, he never really clicked in Seattle anyway.
No, not the way he did in New Orleans. I have a feeling it's going to work.
Having a star quarterback like that, feeding him. Yeah, feed me.
It's going to be interesting, too, because they've also lost Jordy Nelson, who they released.
Yes, indeed. Jordy is being pursued by a few teams.
By the Pats, the Patriots. I could see him with... Well, the Raiders are pursuing him, too. I'd like to see that. But the Raiders are pretty good at receiver. And even though Cooper had an off year, and really, I see him more if the Patriots or 49ers. People wind up with the Patriots and they want to win. And I think the 49ers are so up and coming, they might be able to sell him as well. I think those are the two main contenders, and the Raiders are the outside team with a shot.
Nice. That's the thing, and on the Raiders, like they had Cook last year. They still have hopes for him, or would they be looking to upgrade?
You know, it's interesting. Well, he was at tight end. I think Crabtree's coming back, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Yep.
Cooper has to put last year behind him. That was abysmal. But the other thing was, too, it was interesting because the one thing I noticed since Musgrave left from the year before is there was some decent support players who did nothing last year with Musgrave not calling the plays. They had Walford, who was a really good young up-and-coming tight end 2 years ago, really good role player, did nothing last year. Roberts in the slot did nothing last year. He was at times better than Crabtree 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see if some of those guys resurface under Gruden. Yeah, I think the personnel's there. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out there.
All right. Talib. He's going to the Rams.
Yeah.
You like this move?
Yeah, and then Marcus Peters got traded there a week or two before that, so the Rams might have one of the best, if not the best, set of corners in the NFL. Talib reunited with his old defensive coordinator from Denver, Wade Phillips. He's with the Rams. So it's going to be Peters and Talib on the corners.
Yeah, it's I know Talib likes to play that super in-your-face game and do a lot of trash talking and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Is Peters the same type of player?
Trash talking, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was actually going to talk about it strategically because I wonder if they're going to play him on the side or against certain receivers because Peters likes to play way off and bait you and take chances. And it leads to big plays against him, but it leads to huge plays for him. He's got the most interceptions in the league the last few years.
Right.
So, if I'm them, I'm lining up Talib on the guy you want to jam and disrupt.
Right.
Peters, I'm lining up on the guy you'd want him running more free against. So say, for example, I might want to leap against a more physical receiver.
Yeah.
And if you have your speed guy, I'd want Peters on him.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's an interesting observation. Yeah, how literally polar opposite their styles of games are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Rams again. They for now anyway. They seem to have also improved so far.
Yes. We'll just have to see how they deal with this after the great year, because we've seen teams have a great year like this and come back to the pack a bit.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with it.
$48 million are going to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs overspent, and I thank them because they're a division rival with my Raiders.
Yeah, so, yeah, Sammy, is this a cause for concern? This is 3 teams in 3 years now.
Well, free agency this year, so the Bills got rid of him, but the Bills can use him or Woods properly, but the Rams could.
Mm-hmm.
And now he goes to KC. Mind you, with Mahomes there, and more than Alex Smith did.
Right.
So this kid turned out for the Chiefs, but I'm still apprehensive on the 3 years, $48 million for him.
Yeah. All right. So, Denver.
Defense is still pretty good, but I don't think their defense is what it was a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
You're a couple years older. You got rid of one of those great corners. Your defensive coordinator from 2 years ago is gone.
Yeah.
And is Keenum your core? We could see the Denver of last year again. Or anything in between. They are a true wild card right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the deals of his deal is, whether it's how many years it is.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's out.
But yeah, regardless, I guess that shouldn't be a concern. And quite frankly, he's no worse than what they already have there anyway.
Oh no,
because Denver literally they don't have a quarterback.
No,
no, they have nothing.
Last year,
they have no quarterback. They have no quarterback coming. They have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't blame them. Take a chance. Amendola.
First line but they get Amendola. Yeah,
not a bad replacement.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
Assuming he stays healthy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And Miami's just a go nowhere team.
That is true because it's still Tannehill quarterback.
Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Okay.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team sounds like it's just in total disarray right now.
Yeah, I think so. They're a mess.
And I wonder if they're bringing in Amendola to maybe try to, for the hope of for the locker room more than even more for his play on the field.
Good luck with that anyways. I think it's such a mess.
They're kind of like a bit of, guiding, kind of like a guiding voice, a little bit of leadership, something like that.
Kind of like a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
Oh, there's that. Very good description. Well done. Very good. I like it. Golf clap.
Thank
clap.
you.
So, and finally, the last bit of NFL news that I have here is Colin Kaepernick. His lawsuit continues.
Go Colin, go.
Go Colin, go. So the latest word is that now he is including in the lawsuit, I believe it's Ross, I can't remember his first name now, the owner of the Miami Dolphins. But basically it turns out that Ross admitted in a recent interview that he changed his mind on allowing players to do the anthem protest. So at first he was in favor of them doing it, and then he put his foot down and said, no, you're forbidden from protesting the anthem anymore. And he admitted that he changed his mind because of what Donald Trump players to protest, that any player that protests should be fired out of the league, and da-da-da-da. So now they've added him to the lawsuit saying that, so this guy is being directly influenced by Donald Trump, who said all players that protest should be fired. So now they're making the connection, well, this is a league-wide conspiracy to keep Colin Kaepernick out of the league because he's basically the father of this entire anthem protest movement.
Man, go Cap, go. Go Cap, go. I feel for him, though, because I don't know if you really have the money to fight the NFL, but man, I'm cheering for him.
This will be interesting because now you got to wonder, who is handling his lawsuit? Who is funding this lawsuit?
Because he can't. I have doubts it's just him too.
I doubt it's just him. I'm sure that there are people in the community, whether it's the black community or whatever it is, businessmen, people with some serious cash, looking to, make a statement. Like, who knows? Maybe Papa John's behind all. Them and the NFL aren't getting along now.
No, no. Actually, we didn't have that written down for the show, but we were talking about Peyton Manning and Papa John's earlier this week, weren't we?
Oh, yes, indeed.
better ingredients, better pizza.
Better insider trading.
So the deal which one of us should tell it?
Go ahead.
Okay, because you're the one telling me about
the tale.
This. So apparently, the word on the street is that, we know Papa John's lost their sponsorship of the NFL, become the official pizza of the NFL. So apparently, how long before the sales? This 2 days before Papa John, this announcement was made.
Yep.
Peyton Manning unloaded all his Papa John's franchises.
Every single one of them. Yep. 2 days before the NFL announced that they were ending their relationship. So yeah, how do you think all of those people that bought Peyton Manning's Papa John's franchises felt 2 days later when they heard that the NFL contract, which I'm sure was a big selling point for them, gone? Are you telling me that Peyton Manning didn't know this was about to happen?
Peyton Manning sees the business world the way he used to see the field. He could just survey the landscape and see everything.
Yeah.
So allegedly, that's what we think.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure that...
I'm pretty sure I don't really want to stick the word allegedly in there, but we will.
Yeah, because allegedly we have to. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly, this is all
Hey now. So yeah, we got our eyes on you, Peyton. We're watching. We're watching. First there's the steroids, and now there's Papa John's.
Teflon Peyton.
Squeaky clean no more. And that is our wrap on the NFL free agency and update. Next, how about we have a fight of the night? Woohoo!
Oh, man.
Today is a biggin'.
We have a main event caliber fight of the night tonight, and it's about WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
We're, actually even like off form and everything. With the timekeeper's bell here.
Well, yeah, like today though, today we're doing John Cena versus The Undertaker. It's been hinted at for a few weeks now. Cena versus Undertaker. He's challenged them potentially at WrestleMania.
Late ringing the bell.
So, which side are you on?
Hell no! You know what? I think this is a great idea 3 to 5 years too late. I think this would have been an epic match 3 to 5 years ago, but no, maybe 5 years ago. We've watched, the last 3 or 4 of the Taker's WrestleManias together, and it's been pretty sad to watch at times, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to... Love The Undertaker, don't want to see him come back. I know Cena gets a lot of rap for he can't wrestle, but he actually can. He'd have to carry this, but that's a lot to carry right now from what we've seen of The Undertaker. And if it's been this bad for 3 or 4 years, I don't see how he could bring it back for one more time now. Love the idea, just I don't see the execution of it going well.
So just like the Cleveland 2010 All-Star team this year?
Yes, precisely. Great idea in 2010. Not now.
It's not so much today. Well, I am I'm all on board with this. Love the idea. Love the first time Cena came out with this. This was totally unexpected. I did not see this coming. When Cena came out one day in the ring and he started talking that my road to WrestleMania goes through, and I was like, okay, what's he going to come up with now? And he says, The Undertaker. It's like, what? It's like, I didn't see that coming. That kind of had a flashback, took me back to when Stone Cold Steve Austin got in the ring and he said that he was challenging Vince McMahon for the World Heavyweight title.
Man, I still remember that like it was yesterday. That was awesome.
That, again, did not see that coming. It's like the top star in the league challenging the owner of the league.
You want to be WWF champion, don't you?
I bet you walk around around your house with a belt on, look at yourself in the mirror. Hey, honey, don't look great? No, you look like a jackass. And that's what this match reminded me of. It was like so out of the blue. I didn't see it coming. The WWE legitimately caught me by surprise. John Cena took me by surprise. And yeah, I don't know if we've ever seen this match before. I don't think so.
No, I don't think
Cena
so.
Undertaker, at least not at WrestleMania. And I love the idea that we have like the 16-time champ going up against the, at one time, undefeated 23-0 winner of WrestleMania. So you've got two giants of world wrestling finally meeting together in a big, giant, epic match.
I just have trouble seeing this be a good match. Now, if they could surprise me and pull it off, if it goes through, that I'd be good with it. Here's one other thing we discussed earlier where I'd be good with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the match wouldn't live up to my expectation, if this is a farewell for both Cena and The Undertaker, I could live with it then.
Yep. Well, I know it's
but otherwise, I think it's just going to be a disappointing match. It's just too bad because I love everything you said and the idea of it, but the execution of it just kind of petrifies me.
Well, I know part of Cena's challenge to The Undertaker, and I guess a bit of trash talking to try to egg him on to doing this match. He even said, like, Undertaker, you've got no excuses. I've seen. So he's saying that I've seen you doing that, and he's like, you're not too old, you're not out of shape, you have more than one match left. So Cena is like definitely selling that he totally believes the Undertaker can come back.
I'd like to see that, but in the last 4 years, I haven't seen a guy who has one. In the last 4 years, I haven't seen a guy who has one match left.
Well, like I say, last year's match against Roman Reigns was definitely one of the better ones we've seen in recent memory.
If he could bring that, I agree that's a lot of Roman Reigns, but if he could bring that again, I could live with it. And
that was the thing, just like Roman Reigns, pretty much for the most part carried that match. Mm-hmm. Well done, Roman. I have now forgiven you. I think John Cena can do the same thing in this match.
Maybe,
I think
whatever
grief, ills...
This is another year later, though.
Yeah, I love the idea. Cena Undertaker, I say hell yeah.
I say hell no, but man, I would love to be proven wrong here. I really would.
And that, once again, is our fight of the night. I dare you to vote for who you thought win this one.
Double dare you. And even though we're against each other, we'll tag team and triple dog dare you. Illegally. In the corner. Choke you with the tag rope till the 4
take
count.
Down into a figure 8 leg lock.
That's right.
Speaking of which, we're all ready for more wrestling.
Oh, yes. More wrestling. ROH pretty much is an indie.
That's right. So we have a wrestling review of all kinds of goodness. As the body hinted here, we're covering a plethora of leagues. So
we're bringing a plethora of intensity to this evening.
Boom! So let's start with the big one, the big show. This past weekend we had WWE Fastlane. So it was a fun show with about half a dozen or so matches. So let's go through a few of them. The pre-show started with a 6-man tag team deal. Fandango or Breezango, I should say, and Ty Dillinger, perfect 10, defeated Mojo Rawley, your boy there, Chad Gable.
Your boy, you can have him.
Shelton Benjamin.
That says something, because Mojo Rawley's a heel, and neither one of us can stand him.
I know.
I can't stand that guy.
It's just so bad, and we like the villains. We cheer for the villains.
But not that.
Have like Darth Vader, Pez dispensers. And yet still we cannot get behind Mojo Rawley no matter how hard, no matter what he calls himself.
I go to bed with a clear conscience if I know like wrestling fans are crying over a good guy getting beat down. And yet I can't stand Mojo Rawley even as a heel.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like this is one of those matches that belong in the pre-show.
What a potato head.
That's a good description. What about we're talking about Gable and Benjamin?
Man, it seems like a downfall from contending for the tag team championships. Mind you, they had a weird ending in that 2 out of 3 fall match.
They did. That was very bizarre.
A month or two ago. And yeah, now they're losing on the pre-show.
Yeah, losing 2 straight like that, and the second losing so quickly.
And just having to be associated with Mojo Rawley, come to think of it.
Yeah, that's true. That in itself, it's like having a stone around your neck.
Oh, yeah.
As you're trying to swim to shore.
They could sue him for non-support.
Oh, he should be added to the Colin Kaepernick lawsuit.
And he should be on the NFL
General
side, just
principle.
Just nothing but the stink for that punk ass.
So getting to the main show, we have some goodness, not named Mojo Rawley. We had Shinsuke. He fought. She fought an entire day. He went up against an entire national holiday.
An entire international holiday.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura against Rusev Day.
Rusev Day.
Channel your inner Aiden English.
Thank you.
So yeah, this one fairly even match for the most part. Rusev doing Rusev things like trying to power his way to a victory in Bulgarian Brute, and Shinsuke basically running away and hitting him with all kinds of strong style knees and kicks.
Well, it's got to be strong when you're taking on an entire day.
Yeah, and he managed to do it. He defeated Rusev Day. Took 2 Kinshasas to do it, one from the back, one from the front, but in the end, Rusev Day became a day of mourning.
Oh, no.
Next, we had Randy Orton defeating Canada's own Bobby Roode. This is a terrible day.
Man, this is... Rusev Day already being destroyed is bad enough.
Seeing one of Canada's favorite sons losing his U.S. Championship belt is sad, but Orton did write history by doing that.
He's a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah. Every belt. That boy has won absolutely every single belt. Except for the Euro belt. Is that right? Is that the only one he hasn't won?
Yeah, I don't even know if it was around when he hit the scene.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it doesn't count.
Before him.
So yeah, we were talking about the
D'Lo Brown.
The
greatest European champion of all time.
Well, we were talking about Cena wasn't even a Grand Slam champion, and we were saying Triple H wasn't, but he had the European belt before the U.S. title.
That's right.
And then you brought up a D'Lo Brown reference before the show.
That's right.
D'Lo was you're right, the greatest European champ ever
of all time.
I mean, the man was the living bobblehead. And he was from a different place in Europe every week.
Well, that was the thing. I think originally he was from Chicago.
Yes.
I think. But yeah, as soon as he became European champion, well, suddenly he 1 week he was from Madrid, Spain. The next week he was from Romania.
The next week he was from Amsterdam.
He was truly a...
You better recognize!
He was truly the international man.
International man of the people.
International man of the people. He represented the continent better than any other European champ.
That was D'Lo, wasn't it? You better recognize.
Better recognize.
I forgot about that earlier. Better recognize.
Recognize D'Lo Brown. Best European champion ever.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Randy Orton. I don't know if anyone's ever done what he's done to win every single belt in the league.
Miz
has done it.
Yes. Has he been a tag team champ?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I don't know if he has. So
that'd
both
be the only one
Raw and SmackDown, everything.
He's been the Intercontinental. He's been the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if he's been there, but yeah, I think they almost count if you win one World Championship as.
That's impressive because I never would have expected that from The Miz.
Yeah, I'm not sure if The Miz is a Grand Slam champ or not.
Interesting. All right. Well, there's definitely a contender there. So we got so that was that match. Then we had the women pop into the ring, tag team match. Natalya and Carmella defeating Becky Lynch and Naomi. Carmella with getting the big win. She did her big roundhouse boot to the head to Naomi and winning the match. And we have a bit of a conspiracy watch for Carmella.
Before the conspiracy watch, she said it was she beat Naomi. So it was lights out for the Glow Girl.
Lights out.
So we have talked about Carmella not cashing in her Money in the Bank yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wouldn't this would be something at WrestleMania when Asuka faces Charlotte Flair? If Carmella came in when they're both beaten down and cashed in their Money in the Bank and won. Not just winning the women's title, but also turning the Empresses of Tomorrow's winning streak out. It'd be the defeat of today, defeating and the end of the streak of yesterday. Oh, the Empress of Tomorrow facing the defeat of today and the end of the streak of yesterday. That would be something to see. And just the bragging rights of A winning the title and then B like ending the unbeaten streak. Especially under the more controversial decision if she defeats Charlotte Flair. Hence, Asuka's never been beaten, but still beaten.
Yep.
Shrouding this in controversy.
I like it. I like the controversy. I like the conspiracy.
Empress of Tomorrow facing defeat of today to end the streak of yesterday.
That's right.
That is a ring to it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I can see this. I can see this. That would be the perfect time to finally cash in her Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
You have this. You can't just use it as bling. You've got to actually make use of this thing.
You've got to cash it in.
Cash it in, woman. Cash it in. Next match, we had the Usos against the New Day. So we had the promise of actually a pretty fun match, and it was for a while until...
The Bludgeon Brothers?
The Bludgeon Brothers. They came in and they just demolished everyone. They just beat the tar out of like both teams. They spared no one. They favored no one. And yeah, they just came out to basically make a statement that, hey, don't forget about us. We're two big giant guys wearing crazy ripped red outfits. And we need to be taken seriously. We're not laughing stocks. Grr.
Right now they're being taken more seriously than their old partner Bray Wyatt is on Raw.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So yeah, so this is
which by the way, we don't have it down here, but we should also talk about Final Deletion coming up later.
Oh yes. So yeah, so it makes an interesting turn of events there in the tag team division on SmackDown, which is already pretty strong to begin with. And just
Raw needs some of their tag teams, really.
They do. They could definitely use some of that. Yeah, so that match pretty much ended in a no contest. Then we had women's championship, Charlotte against Ruby Riott. And good match. Both just back and forth on each other, but in the end, Charlotte, basically just superior wrestler, came through and defeated Ruby with her patented figure eight. And finally, our last match, we had AJ Styles defeating the entire locker room.
He's a fighting champ.
He's a fighting champ. He took them all on at once.
Without prejudice.
To defend his WWE Championship. He fought Kevin Owens, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn. I'm pretty sure the Crusher was in there somewhere.
At some point in the evening, I think he even hunted us down and fought us.
My head was hurting Sunday night. Pretty sure I got a phenomenal forearm at some point in my noggin. Yeah. So
Raider fan, I realized I was just another victim of the match on the main event on Sunday, involuntarily.
Well, so one little bit subplot within this, buddy buddies Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had like just the tiniest bit of friction going into this match because Zayn kind of turned on Kevin Owens in the previous week of SmackDown. But during this match, he assured Kevin Owens that no, they're still the besties. Life is good. They're going to go in, and when the chance presents itself, he's going to lay down for Kevin Owens. And the chance did present itself. There was only the two of them in the ring. Everybody else got knocked out. And Sami Zayn did lay down for Kevin Owens so he could pin him, become champ. And as soon as Kevin Owens went for the pin, Sami turned it into a small package. Totally stabbed him in the back.
Well played. Well played.
So I guess after tonight's SmackDown, we'll see where their relationship is now. Whether if there's a chance of mending it or whether it's frazzled forever.
Again.
Sami, how could you betray your best friend, Kevin Owens? Wait.
Probably the same way Kevin Owens betrayed him.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would do
it.
Yeah. So that was 2018 Fastlane.
Actually, just thinking, that's the one neat thing about WWE friendships and feuds is because, like, Owens turned on him years ago. Then you could have Zayn turn on him now. And then 2 years later, you could have them buddy up again. And even after they've turned on each other once, you could act like they would never turn on each other and everyone would buy into it.
Absolutely, of course, because everyone forgives. We're forgiving people. Gotta remember that. Stop being so cynical.
Thank you.
Have more love in your heart.
No. I refuse.
No! This is what I'm dealing with. Terrible. So, Raw. We have some news items from that. Braun Strowman.
He's the new #1 tag team contender.
Yes, he is.
He's his own tag team. He won a tag team battle royal.
Well, he weighs as much as an actual tag team by himself.
Basically, I think, was it 6 tag teams or something like that? Were in a tag team battle royal in the main event of Raw to see who would face the Bar at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Then just before the bell rings, you hear the customer roar, and it's Braun Strowman who comes in demanding that the referee ring the bell and start the match. So they rang the bell and start the match. And Braun Strowman is the new #1 contender for the tag team title.
Defeating all other tag teams.
By himself.
Well done, Braun. That WrestleMania might become the first ever single tag team champion.
That might be greater than being the world champion.
How would he tag himself in? And the question is, will the league allow him to actually go in on his own? Because it is a tag team division. Are they going to throw Brian Ellsworth? Oh, is he coming back?
James Ellsworth?
James Ellsworth, yeah.
I don't
be
think
his
so,
partner?
But I have a theory. One of two things is going to happen. Because I think he's going to get this match.
All right.
So I think one of two things will happen at WrestleMania if he gets this match. One, he will win the tag team titles.
All right. Well, that's a foregone conclusion.
Two, all 6 tag teams he eliminated get pissed off and interfere and get the Bar disqualified so they can retain their titles. But Braun still wipes them all out and then walks away at the end.
So you don't think he's going to actually be given a tag team partner to go into WrestleMania with?
No. I think he's going there, and I think he's either winning the titles or winning by disqualification and laying everyone out.
I still think he's going to get a partner. And if it's not somebody that he just pulls out of the crowd...
makes Crusher, George Iron, Scrap Iron Kadowski stuff.
Exactly. Either
real old school.
Just goes into the crowd and pulls somebody, and if I
would love to see that. I would love to see that. I haven't seen that angle in 40 years.
Yeah, so
it's 40 years since I've seen that angle.
Well, that's the thing. So unless he's just randomly pulling some fan out of the crowd and boom, you're now my tag team partner.
Because that was a great angle in the old AWA in the 1970s. A hero known as the Crusher.
That's right.
Was taking on a heel and his manager.
He pulled some guy out from under the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, he pulled the guy out from under the ring. Hey, you want to be my partner?
It's like some grease monkey who's living under the ring.
Right. The funny thing is, no one even knows the grease monkey actually wrestled every second week as a jobber. George Scott-Iron I would love to see that. Yeah,
pure gold.
Braun Strowman just pull some ham and egger from the crowd.
If they're not going to do that, if that's not going to happen, then my prediction is that Hello, I Am Elias is going to be his tag team partner.
You know what?
Strowman and Elias.
That would be awesome.
Two enemies banding together for a common cause. Sounds familiar. Isn't that how the bar got started?
Together? Well, actually, there was once an angle in ECW in its dying days because Raven and that was just when Lance Storm would get in there. That's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's just incredible. This feud, Dreamer's getting the crap beat out of him by these guys, like big time. And I think he was wrestling them in a tag team title match by himself or something. Or, no, it wasn't them. It was actually the Dudleys, their last show. The Impact Players came into this feud later. Dudley's last show, and they were the champs, and they were swearing at the ECW crowd saying they're going to take the ECW titles to Vince McMahon and drop him at his feet when they went to the WWF. So Tommy Dreamer's getting the crap beat out of him by the Dudleys in this one last match before they leave. And Raven, his sworn enemy, comes out to clean up the mess and get the win. And actually, not to help Tommy Dreamer, but to torment Tommy Dreamer because Tommy Dreamer knew his lifelong enemy was his tag team partner. Which in itself was a pretty epic angle.
That's funny.
I'm going to torment you by making you partner with me.
Yeah, so there we go.
I would like to see the Elias
and Braun Strowman. The superpowers joined together for...
Maybe it's actually Elias comes out and gets the bar disqualified.
Well, there you go. But
it might be a merging of our two ideas coming about here.
That fearless forecast.
So. And they all three of them get laid out by Strowman at the end, but it doesn't stop the disqualification.
So yeah, stay tuned. Another bit of interesting news we seen from Raw this week was... with some of the women. Apparently not all as well with best friends Bliss and Nia Jax.
No, apparently Bliss and Mickie James came out and trash talk Asuka, which is great trash talk. That was awesome. Mickie James lost a match to Asuka. Pretty good match actually. In the back there, but at first they're teasing Nia Jax coming out to face her, and she never did. Bliss is in the back asking Nia where she is. Nia said, Kurt Angle told me not to come out. I have a match next. That match, she proceeded to thrash a ham and egger. It looked like the female version of James Ellsworth. And then after that, Bliss and Mickie James are in the back on camera, on the mic, talking trash about Nia Jax behind her back about how they're using her, and if she doesn't buy in, they're just going to have to beat the hell out of her. To which the interviewer, Kathy Kelly, comes back there. Are you aware that big boom mic goes on over there? And the whole arena just heard you. Leading to their hasty retreat and Nia coming and freaking out looking for them.
I like it. So it looks like Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax.
WrestleMania, I'm thinking.
WrestleMania makes sense, given that Asuka's now officially challenged Charlotte for her belt.
But you'd actually have to see the deal to do the whole comedy of it justice.
I love it. Nothing like good trash.
Yes.
Another match that caught our eye on Raw was Finn Balor defeating Seth Rollins. Made us wonder about Seth Rollins' future. What's going on? He's losing quite a bit.
Is this Seth Rollins just losing to look vulnerable before he finally wins the Intercontinental title? Or is this, Seth Rollins trending down?
Yeah,
I certainly hope not the latter.
It's been just made me think of that yesterday because I've noticed that lately Rollins, he has had a rougher time. He's had some wins, but he's suffered quite a few losses now, and also being teamed up with Kurt Angle's son there. That was kind of a bit of a disaster.
That's an albatross.
Yeah.
The old Kurt Angle's son, Angle. Like that whole, oh, I hate that.
Jason Jordan, that was his name, right?
Yeah,
I've already forgotten him.
I'm not a big fan of him, and I wasn't a big fan of that storyline even more so.
Yeah, so made us wonder about the future for the Architect.
You know what I miss is I miss Seth Rollins' heel.
I do miss Seth Rollins' heel. Maybe that's what's happened is maybe he'll get frustrated from all these losses and just turn his back on the world and be the good solid heel that we know and love.
Because there's not many good solid heels, but he was one.
Oh, especially when he demanded his own statue.
My favorite one was the night after he won the title at WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And can't remember where they were for it. Was it Jersey or wherever they were?
Yeah.
And of course, you're in the same city the night after for the Raw after WrestleMania. And he comes out and tells Brock Lesnar, yeah, I'd love to give you a rematch tonight, but I'm suffering from jet lag.
That's the Seth Rollins we miss.
Yeah, that's the guy I need to see again.
Because, yeah, he was such a smarmy, like, arrogant, cocky, weaselly guy. And, yeah, I miss him. I like that Seth Rollins.
Same here.
The Seth Rollins that...
This ethical guy right now is not doing it for me.
I don't like that at all.
Oh, not doing it for me.
I like the one
I want to be the best. No, you want to be. You want to be as bad as you can be.
Yeah, that after Raw and SmackDown had their pay-per-view where it was like brand versus brand there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he banded together with even some of his enemies on Raw there to win. But the very next day on Monday Night Raw that he came out and he said, hey, look, I went along, you know, I teamed up with you scumbags yesterday. But I expect to get what's coming to me now. That's the Seth Rollins I want back. So yes, Rollins.
Miss that guy.
Yeah, embrace your evil. Turn your back on the fans. They never done nothing for you.
Nothing, man.
And speaking of turning your back and surprises, you have some goodness from Ring of Honor.
Oh yes, so there's been the Kenny Omega versus Bullet Club storyline.
Uh-huh.
So within the last few weeks, like I haven't watched much Ring of Honor. I've seen more of this on YouTube and read about stuff.
Uh-huh.
The Bullet Club has adopted a mascot, especially the Elite, Barry the Drug-Free Bear. Some guy in a bear costume.
Beautiful.
Barry, like B-U-R, like I'm going to bury you. 16th anniversary show. And apparently some follow-up. I didn't see the follow-up. I heard a bit. There was apparently, because Omega and Ibushi, the Golden Lovers, have been feuding with the Bullet Club and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there was something where Cody Rhodes tried to get in Omega's head and him and Ibushi kissed her, so I don't know.
All right.
I didn't see it. Because there's been double entendres, stuff with the Golden Lovers. I don't know.
I love the double entendres.
Yes. So anyways, I explained that because it leads into this. So anyways, Cody's facing Matt Taven, leader of the Kingdom, another heel faction. And apparently earlier in the night, the Kingdom had beat down the Young Bucks, so there was no Young Bucks there to help. So Cody beats Matt Taven at the Ring of Honor 16th anniversary main event. And then afterwards, he goes to embrace or high five or high 10 Barry the Drug-Free Bear, who in turn shoves him and then removes his headwear to reveal it's Kenny Omega. His headwear. To reveal it was Kenny Omega.
What?
And then performed the V-trigger knee and knocked him out. To which after Brandy Rhodes came up and sealed a kiss, which just should be a bad thing, I guess, but was portrayed as it on Kenny Omega.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Kenny Omega all the way from Japan.
Via Winnipeg
into Ring of Honor.
Yes. He's there from time to time, but yeah.
Kenny Omega, the drug-free, Barry the Drug-Free Bear.
Barry the Drug-Free Bear.
Beautiful. I love it. Good old Ring of Honor. That's beautiful stuff. Well, that is our wrestling review for this week. And that takes us to our very last segment, which, as always, is the Epic and Suck of the Week. One moment we each thought was epic, and one moment we thought sucked. Body, take it away.
My epic like, actually, is going to involve wrestling again. It involves Cody and the Young Bucks, who are going to do something that could be kind of historic. September 1st in Chicago. They are, I'm not sure which building exactly they're in, but they are financing, the wrestlers themselves are financing a show for a 10,000-seat arena and saying they could pull it off. And I think they can. I think Kenny Omega's already committed. I know Kenny Omega's already committed. Mm-hmm. And I think some ROH stars and some Japanese wrestlers are interested in it as well. And of course, the Bullet Club will be there for the most part, or at least the elite part of it. Mm-hmm. So I think this thing will be highly successful. I think they've even added a convention at some point in the weekend.
Nice.
So, yeah, September long weekend, Chicago. So I would just love to see 3 wrestlers actually successfully finance this independent show.
That's a great idea, and
10,000-seat arena. Yeah. That is, and I want to see them do it. I want to see them succeed.
Love it.
Plus, Cody Rhodes, I think it's been much more profitable for him since he's left the WWE machine.
Mm-hmm. Beauty. All right, so
my epic
suck of the week.
Oh, the NFL Combine. The underwear Olympics. I skipped them this year. I usually skip them. I mean, there's some things, if you're an NFL scout, you can go back and kind of double check, but I'm more of a believer in game film. And I mean that, there'll be some guys they look at, they ran this fast, they jumped this fast, but then you look at their game film and they're not doing stuff right. And I know some people believe, if someone's young, they're raw, you could teach them. I'm not so convinced, because if you're getting fooled by college, say if you're a defensive player, for example, and you're getting fooled by college offenses, I don't know how you're going to learn at a harder level. So I'm more of a game film kind of guy. There might be some things you could reference from the Combine, but I do believe it's highly overrated and extremely boring to watch.
Well, I totally agree with you with the boring part, and
except for Run Rich Run.
Oh, well, that's epic.
That's the exception.
Yeah, that's another top 10 epic of the year every year. But I know it's just a Combine. The one thing I find it bizarre is, I feel the same way as you do, that I think too much emphasis put on that rather than game film. But this year we had I think a pretty insane situation with offensive lineman Orlando Brown, believe his name, that they said he basically posted the worst numbers for, I think, any offensive lineman ever in the history of the Combine. Mm-hmm. Going into it, this is a guy that was actually highly rated, thought was going to be a first round pick for sure for offensive line, because he had phenomenal college career. But it turns out that he didn't bench press enough, he doesn't run the 40 fast enough, he doesn't jump high enough, and so all of a sudden he's probably going to fall way down scouts list for the draft.
Stupid. I mean, the only 2 I'd be worried about, and I wouldn't even care because I want to see game film, or maybe like if there's a shuttle thing for foot quickness and your strength. Carol, where's your offensive lineman? If your offensive lineman's jumping, you've got a problem.
Oh,
you've got a serious problem.
Well, there's a problem where I don't know where this is a concern. It's like, he doesn't jump that high. Well, good. He's not supposed to. He's a lineman. He's supposed to be on the ground.
Lower the better.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's also, he doesn't run the 40 fast. He shouldn't. He should run the 4 fast, not the 40. So I found that ridiculous, that this is, people just getting overwhelmed by numbers.
Yet there's another kid, I can't remember his name because I saw a little bit of film on him from a guy who breaks stuff down on YouTube. And the guy, Brett Coleman, I think is his name, or Coleman, I can't remember, breaks stuff down really well. He breaks down strategy of teams and schemes, and he breaks down draft picks and prospects. But I only watched the first minute or 2 on this guy. I can't remember his name.
Yep.
And he was talking about this kid being raw, but the athletic ability. But I think he's going to be the youngest player drafted. Like, he'll barely be 20 or whatever by the time the season starts. Linebacker, amazing off the charts physical ability, like running, strength, like everything, just mind blowing. But then he's showing him take false steps and all this bad technique. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about how he feels at that young age, which is something because the kid is super young, that it can be done with great, if he has really good position coaches. And maybe he does have something there. But I just think if you're taking false steps and biting on play action in college where it's weak play action, what are you going to do with Breeze and Brady and even some of the average quarterbacks who are just going to execute way better than that? Mm-hmm. It's not a place to learn.
No.
Being way over your head like that, I don't see it turning out well.
Yeah.
And he'll move up because of the combine.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so NFL Combine, perpetual suck.
Yes.
All right, so for me, my epic this week is the story of Euclid Cummings in the Canadian Football League. So this basically broke and horrifying. So, yeah, well done to the league and to the team.
Mm-hmm.
My suck of the week is from the fighting arts. Floyd Money Mayweather decides he's going to be a cage fighter now.
I want to see this.
And Tyrone Woodley is apparently training him. And Woodley talking that, oh yeah, Floyd, he can be great at MMA. He's a great boxer. He's got good footwork. I don't care. You can have all the great footwork in the world. Doesn't help if you're lying flat on your back.
No.
It's like, you ever seen a stone swim? No, it can't. That's what will happen to Floyd Money the second he gets into an MMA ring. This is just nothing but pure publicity stunt. I doubt he'll ever actually get into the ring. If he does...
do you think it's McGregor or CM Punk?
CM Punk. He wouldn't last... unless McGregor really decides to draw this thing out.
Because everyone knows it'd be quick, so I don't even know if you could make the money off it.
Yeah, he wouldn't last 30 seconds with McGregor. I mean, the intrigue is there, definitely there. I mean, we've had the boxing match between. Now let's have the cage match between them. So, I mean, if it happened, I'm sure he would probably make another $1 zillion, I guess. But realistically, yeah, he shouldn't last 30 seconds in this match against CM Punk. He also shouldn't last too long, but he should have a bit more of a fighting chance. Cause
I actually think those press conferences would be awesome.
No, they would. The press conferences would actually be, I think, better than the eventual fight. Because we've seen CM Punk in the octagon.
I actually think those press conferences may potentially even be better than the McGregor-Mayweather ones were.
Well, that is true, because CM Punk is natural born killer on the mic.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. So he's definitely got that going for him. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. But for right now, Floyd Money Mayweather, this MMA...
Oh, I agree. It's an epic suck. But there's part of me that wants to see this train wreck. I just want to see the train wreck.
See, fans, no matter how hard you try to deny it, we all want... We cannot look away from a car accident.
No. I want to see this beast head on. Just destroyed.
And that is our epic and suck of the week. And that is also our show for the week. So, Body, thanks again for another great show.
Been a pleasure being back, Mind.
And thank you again for listening to another episode of the Body and Mind Sports Show. Please remember to like us and subscribe to our channel. Thank you again for listening to the Body and Mind Sports Show.